Hi everyone, how's everyone doing here today? By now you've probably heard that there was a second assassination attempt made on Donald Trump's life. Unfortunately, they didn't succeed, and this time the shooter was taken into custody. I don't know too many details about it, other than like it just happened on one of Trump's golf courses and everything. The shooter, who had been there for quite some time, was spotted by Secret Service. I heard he may have gotten a shot off or two, and he did flee, but eventually, there was a witness that got a picture of the vehicle and the plate number, and that's how they were able to track him down and apprehend him. Supposedly this is somebody who has mixed views, but he did vote for Donald Trump on 2016. I definitely wouldn't go as far as to call him a liberal. Is he full-blown MAGA? I don't know yet, so I don't want to speculate on that. And like I said when I talked about the first assassination attempt, I do not approve of violence of any kind in politics. Most of us don't. I don't care who it's being done to, even if it's against a politician that I don't like. I don't approve of it. It's not the American way, and it's not patriotic. But it does go back to a point that I made before, and that is primarily on the right, especially extremists, and up to the person that they're supporting, have pretty much created this climate of where between fear-mongering and political violence, it's become the norm. And it's now come back to him a second time. And just to be clear, somebody's going to make you're saying this is all Trump's fault? I'm not saying this is Trump's fault. I'm saying there is such a thing as causality. That when you stoke political violence, when you encourage it, or when you entertain it, and even in some instances celebrate it, you are creating this environment where political violence is accepted, and that's not the way it should be. Okay? Even after the first assassination attempt, which, just to go back to real quick, to me is still a little suspicious. I'm not saying it's staged. I don't want to indulge in conspiracy theories. That's not really my style, but I believe it was Joy Reid that pointed out some things that just seemed off, like the fact that was it a bullet or was it glass fragments that injured him, where that grazed his eye and caused some damage, where there was visible signs of blood. We didn't see, he was taken to a hospital obviously, and the Secret Service protected him. Why you would prop his head up when there's an active shooter there seems kind of silly. That doesn't really add up, and it didn't really do much to improve on his polls. And afterwards, we didn't get anything as far as any type of detailed medical report as to what his condition was upon being admitted. Like, how bad was the injury? Did he need any cosmetic surgery or anything like that? Just later at the RNC convention, he had this patch on his ear, and later his ear doesn't seem to be showing any scar tissues, any nicks, nothing like that. Was it a bullet? Was it glass? I don't know. And are we going to see any truth to any of these details or any of these valid questions? Probably not. Okay, Trump did what he always does. This time he tried to market on it by, there was a bobblehead of him holding a fist bump with streaks of blood on his face, the infamous sneakers. And shortly after this one, the same thing. He put out these, sneakers of him with the fist bump saying, "Fight, fight, fight." So in essence, he is, encouraging the very violence that he is falling victim to, okay? Is he going to stop? No. Are people going to discourage it? The people around him? No. Like on Fox, there's all this thing about blaming all the Democrats or anything. The first shooter was a Republican voter, okay? And the second one voted for Trump in 2016. I don't know who he voted for in 2020, or, if he switched sides or something like that, okay? But the simple fact is, he is the one that has said things in the past like, if somebody's at my rally causing trouble, knock the shit out of him. Where he's made statements that, kind of give a wink and a nod to violence. We saw that on full display on January 6th, and we even saw it recently when he put out the ridiculous statement about people eating pets in Springfield, Ohio by Haitian immigrants, which it turns out that was a lie too. There were two isolated instances about that, but it's blown out of proportion in such a gossip, which has now stoked threats of violence in Springfield, Ohio, where there was a bomb threat made, where now Haitians don't feel safe and everything like that. This is all part of this climate of fear and violence that the right likes to push, that Donald Trump likes to perpetuate. And like I said, It's got to stop. Okay? Now, just to also put it into perspective, as just like with before, the first attempt made, like Joe Biden put out a statement praising that the president was okay and that he was glad for that. So did Nancy Pelosi. But when you look at it in stark contrast to somebody like, say, Donald Trump Jr., who's an absolute moron, during the incident where, as I said, as a result of stochastic terrorism, somebody with a hammer went to Nancy Pelosi's house with the intention of going after her. Instead, her husband got assaulted pretty bad and had to be hospitalized. He survived the attack, but then Donald Trump make jokes about it. And so does Donald Trump. He pokes fun at it too, which goes to show, in his mind, he knows he's doing the wrong thing. He knows that there are plenty within his MAGA base that are more than energized and happy to commit acts of violence, as long as he throws out the proper keywords and stuff like that. People like to point out to his recent statement how, like, if the elections doesn't go his way, it would be like a bloodbath. Now, he says he was referencing that towards the auto industry. That may be the case, but I don't think that's only the case. Like I said, he's smart enough to know. Trump is stupid, don't get me wrong, but he's smart enough to know that by throwing out little buzzwords like that, it is like, blowing a dog whistle. He did it on January 6th, and, like I said, he did it recently after the first debate, which he got clobbered on, okay? And he's already putting out hints of, like, he's going to think that the election's going to be stolen when he loses in 2024. The same way he lost in 2020, fair and square. So it becomes the question of us, the supporters, and if you're somebody who's a diehard Trump supporter, obviously you're going to keep supporting him. But know that he is the one that brings this on himself. It is his causality which causes incidents like this to happen. So, are you going to stop supporting him? Okay. But you should call out the violence or the talks of violence or any type of stochastic terrorism when you hear it. If you get the urge to go out and commit some act of violence, do yourself a favor. Don't. That's the other thing I've talked about, where if you do something like that, you got two outcomes. Look at it in this example. The first person that took a shot at Trump, he got killed. And now this one is now in custody and will I would imagine definitely be doing some serious jail time. Okay? And he should be. He should be held accountable. Okay? I'm not giving him a pass or the fact that he did it against a former president that I'm opposed to, that makes it okay. Again, I don't accept political violence, period. And we as a whole shouldn't. But you got too many enablers on Trump's side that say it's okay. Like J.D. Vance pushing the eating pets gossip and everything. And like I said, on Fox, instead of calling out Trump for his bad behavior, they say, oh no, it's the Democrats' fault. No, it's not the Democrats' fault. This falls on the people that like to, push stochastic terrorism, push political violence, and the ones that around them just either enable it or turn a blind eye and just don't say anything. Okay? I didn't hear Fox calling out Don Jr. when he was making jokes about Pelosi's husband. Elon Musk recently put out a tweet like, why doesn't anyone do this to Kamala Harris? And a tweet that he later took down, which is as inappropriate and as stupid as can be. But that's just it. These people don't care if they encourage violence. They're okay with the violence as long as it happens to the candidates that they don't like. But if it happens to Donald Trump, then it's, the Democrats, they're all to blame for it. Not an ounce of self-awareness or self-reflection or just any type of reflection on the people that they support that like to push violence. So, in the end, it's going to boil down to us, the voters, to vote the troublemakers out, okay? Because they're never going to change. And I would say to the supporters, is this really the climate you want to be in? Then you should really consider voting for somebody other than Donald Trump, okay? I'm sure, there's already other details coming out about it. I didn't get a chance to read up on it, but, I'm glad this shooter didn't succeed as well, okay? And, like I said, it would be nice if Donald Trump would do some reflection on its own, but let's be real, that's not going to happen because it's not in his nature. He delights on the political violence, okay? He is primarily the cause of it. That the GOP now finds itself in this, environment of fear and violence. So, in the end, it's going to be us to the voters to do something about it, okay? Because you can't count on MAGA, specifically the politicians, all right? Because, the enablers, they are just as guilty as well. So, anyway, thank you for watching. I really hope you understand.